Hi everyone, so if you're new here, I'm Damaris, and today I just wanted to talk about 5 things that really suck about being vegan. This is like a completely honest video. I love being vegan, don't get me wrong, but there are some things that just really suck. So first of all is everyone turns into a nutritionist. The most commonly asked thing I think as a vegan is, where do you get your protein from? And it's just really annoying. So unless you have a very specific diet where you need a high protein intake, like say you're building muscle or bodybuilder, that sort of thing, then you don't really need to worry about protein. There is protein in fruit and vegetables. There's quite a high amount of protein in potatoes. It's something that once you've been vegan a while, you realise that it's a kind of non-issue, but it's something that gets asked so much, it's just crazy. Next, a question that I think vegans do ask a lot as well is, why is there milk powder in everything? So when I was first vegan, and checking like crisps labels, for example. I don't eat a lot of crisps these days, but back then I would be checking crisp labels and it would say milk powder in them. And you'd sort of think, well, why is there milk powder in there? There's not really a purpose for it, which is just really frustrating. And I was even caught out in the early days of being vegan, eating a fruit and nut bar, which is just supposed to be, one of those sort of healthy protein energy bars, and I checked the ingredients after I'd eaten it and it had whey powder in it. It was just so frustrating. It's just such a common issue for vegans, I think. Another thing that sucks is you literally question anything. And my main example of this was when I was at like an event and they had like a food stall which did a few vegan things. So it had like veggie burgers, vegan pizza, that sort of thing. And the pizza was so realistic that I actually sent it back and questioned it because I wasn't sure if they'd accidentally given me a dairy pizza or not. Now, they were really good and they offered to show the label and, it was vegan in the end. But you just question everything. If somebody makes you something, you worry that they've not actually made it vegan. If you eat out, not that that happens very much for me, introvert problems, but if you do eat out, then you worry about whether what you're eating has animal ingredients in it or whether you need to question it. It's so frustrating. I guess vegans are just really in the minority and a lot of people just don't actually fully understand what a vegan is, and that's probably the issue, and that's why vegans end up questioning because of this sort of confusion, I suppose. But anyway, just very frustrating. The next thing that sucks about being vegan is that, why is vegan food more expensive? So, like I said, I don't eat out very often, but when I have, you always see on the menu that the vegan option is considerably more expensive than the meat option. Now, to me, that just doesn't make any sense. You're not using animal products, you're using vegetables and sometimes fruit, whatever it is, which should, in that logic, be cheaper. So why is it that the vegan option is more expensive? My guess is it's either the fact that they know vegans will pay for it because they're avoiding animal ingredients, or it's that chefs, aren't that clued into making vegan food, so it takes them a little bit more effort. I'm not sure. Either way, it is just one of the things that is really frustrating. And I do hope that this will just get better in the future. Lastly, I know not everyone watching this video will be vegan, and that's completely fine. There's just one last thing that just really sucks about being vegan, and it's that it changes your mindset on things. So things that would never have bothered me when I was vegetarian bother me now as a vegan. For example, the smell of meat. It makes me feel sick. I can't stand the smell of meat now, but when I was a vegetarian, this didn't bother me at all. So it's probably psychological, but either way, it is definitely something that really sucks. I guess this might sound a little bit dramatic, Perhaps it is a little bit, but it is definitely something that bothers me. And I think it's all just to do with like a mindset shift. It just makes events and conversations with family and friends that aren't vegan, it just makes that little bit more difficult because they don't see things the same way as you. So that's my 5 things that suck about being vegan. I hope this video wasn't too negative. I just thought I would do another 5 things style video because I've been vegan 5 years. I was considering doing a part 2, like a 5 things I love about being vegan. So do leave me a comment if you think that would be interesting. I'd love to hear from you. So the quote this week is, life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. And that's a George Bernard Shaw quote. I just really liked this quote. It's not the sort of quote that I would usually share on my channel, but I think this is such a positive one and, good for personal development. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.